Yeah, I mean, when you start talking about small farms, I mean, less than 2% of America are farmers right now, and 1 in 50 kids are going back into agriculture of people who are in agriculture. So we're just getting less and less because we have the equipment. A small farm anymore, yeah, 150 cows, that's nothing. That's a small farm. You do that without a tractor. And the same thing when you start talking, when you get into produce farming and some of that, it's a lot more hands-on labor, so it does take more infrastructure and people to make that happen. When you start talking about cattle and row crops, you have bigger equipment. Yeah, one tractor costs 100,000, and no, that's not one that's locked out by John Deere or Case or Kubota from the right to repair. A lot of that's just protecting their Tier 4 and DEF emissions software. I can repair my own tractors about 80% of the time, but a lot of the time I don't have time to tear a tractor apart and replace the transmission a 3-day job because I have cattle, I have livestock that need taken care of. So if you want to talk about it from the scale side, absolutely. But let's just remember all farmers are working together and they are very inventive and make things work that don't work in a lot of sectors because they make sacrifices, and usually the least paid person is the actual owner.
Totally. Yeah, and that's the reason I push back on Mrs. Clark and Hunt, because this idea that there are these big corporate farms that are just greedy and taking money, and that's why groceries have gone up. That's not the case. Like, if you look at the actual people who are farming corn in America, these are family farms, like essentially all of them. And sure, they're specialized and they have $1 million combines and things like that, but they are not making a profit right now. I mean, literally losing money as they plant their fields and as their corn's growing right now. They're not going to make any money this year. And so it's just that, like, if you're not understanding how high the inputs have gotten, you're just not understanding the reality of the situation. And most of the small farmers are going to go out of business, and we're going to lose more family farmers. Then you can really have the big corporate ones take over. But sorry. Oh, you got a comment.
Most of the distributors actually, correct me if I'm wrong, P, but or Brian, like most of them are still operating like they just started to recover. They're operating at 1% cost or profit. They actually were taking a bath for a long time, operating in the red since the pandemic and trying to get back those costs. So, I don't think they're just hiking up just to go ahead and you pull every nickel out of somebody's purse. They're sitting there trying to figure out the operating costs because, again, like you mentioned, Brian, I've heard talk so many freaking times about this. The insane regulations, that are expenses onto farmers that are passed by people who sit in offices that are AC and order McDonald's every day. Those people are passing regulations onto farmers without ever so much as seeing a cow in person. They have no idea what it takes, what they're asking for. One of the prime examples I heard in and I recommend this, go to the agricultural rooms like Clubhouse that are ran every freaking day and listen to what these women and these men say, and they'll tell you how weird some of these state regulations, some of these town regulations are, like an expansion of a pig pen, just to transport a pig, a hog. They have to expand it out by 2 inches miraculously because some politician in some suit somewhere in the city said, now you have to do this. Now they have to, if they're a hog farmer, they have to now sit there and expand and do all these changes that it's a huge cost to them. And nobody actually said, hey, does this actually benefit it? What is the rationale for this? What is the purpose of this?